We hear you well.
Yes, we
Great.
can. We had.
Hi. So we had a 2 week break and we are back today. And I hope you enjoyed the break. And today we are going to do a landscape. And I'm also planning to do a bird in the landscape. So I'm using a cold press watercolor paper, 300 GSM, and I have a variety of brushes. I have a pencil, I have paper towel, and I have my paint in a palette. All the primary colors are in there. Um, so I'm going to switch my camera. Oh, just give me a second. And I'll start the process of drawing. So I'm thinking of doing a bird like a seagull. Um, Maybe over here on the left hand side, not in the center, but in the left hand side. It's a good idea to, uh, if you have a subject, to not put it exactly in the center. So, 1 second. Yeah. So, doing a small shape here. So that's just a bird and a distant landscape. And if you want, you can take a screenshot at this point. So I'm going to get rid of some extra pencil marks from the drawing. Just keep the drawing very light. So I'm getting rid of my pencil marks just a little bit to kind of not have it so dark. As long as I understand the drawing, maybe the image could be a little bit more. So I'm especially being careful about the areas that are going to be white so that I don't have a lot of pencil marks. I'm getting rid of some of the lines, the extra lines. Now I'll just wet this area. I'll take some of my blue and drop it in and let the water, you know, create any shape or form of the cloud. Then I'll come and put in the water in the bottom part around the seagull. Just putting in some cerulean blue and green colors in the bottom part. Cerulean blue, it granulates a little bit, so I'm seeing a little bit of granulation in the water, um, in the water in the front, which I don't mind, but you can also use any other kind of blue that you have. The paint is spreading very easily as the water is wet. If you have any kind of cobalt blue or any turquoise blue, you can put it in at this point. I'm putting in a variety of blues in the front, darker colors in the front, like more saturated paint in the front, and keeping the background, the back quite light. Letting the cyan and the cerulean blue play with each other. If you have turquoise, cerulean blue, you can put them together, and because it's wet on wet, it's going to mix with each other and create a nice effect. Also take the same color and put a little bit on the sky as well, because the water usually reflects the color from the sky. It's a good idea to put in a little tiny bit even of the same color into the sky. Just a little bit. Just put a touch of that cerulean blue into the sky. And maybe define the clouds a little bit at this point. We'll take a little bit of darker blue color and define the bottom of the clouds a little bit. Like not necessarily the bottom, but also um, not the front part, but the, the the back and the front both. So it gives the effect of a voluminous effect on the clouds a little bit. So I just put in some water and let it blend in with the white and kind of create the three-dimensional effect of the cloud. So you could put some water and then you could come in with a little bit of a darker blue color, indigo, or even with your blue mixed with some black, you can draw the edges of the cloud and kind of make it look a little bit darker around so that it gives it looks like voluminous at the front. You know? Okay, so I'm waiting for the paint to dry a little bit over here and everywhere. Think I might run the dryer just really quick. And then I would like to bring in a little bit of burnt sienna or some kind of brownish color in the background to show the distant mountains. Actually, I could also use some purple here. Purple, brown, maybe some green. So that's your, and bring in the water so that the colors can play with each other a little bit. And you could also take some green, very dark green color, and you could, if you want, you don't have to, but you could um, create outlines of some trees here. Just dropping in some green color, and it's mixing with the purple and the brown to give the effect of some trees and land in the distance. So I just did the green dots, okay? I didn't do too much. I will do more later on. So that's the beginning of something, okay? So that's how it's gonna. So now I will take some black. Take a little bit of black color, or mix the three primaries to get your black, and or you can take very dark blue, such as indigo, okay? And I'm preparing that over here. It's a very dark, but in my case, it's not black, but you could use black if you want. Just don't use too much. So this is the step that you'll be coming. Oh, did I drop? Sorry, I dropped some paint on my black color cell here. Okay, clean it up now. So now I'm coming in with some clean water, and I will put that on the bird. Okay, I put water covering the bird entirely except for the beak and the feet. I did not put water on the beak or the feet. I just went around it and put water everywhere. But of course, I have dried it before, right? That's an important step. Otherwise, it's gonna go into your background. Hopefully, I have dried it enough. So now that I am dropping in the color, it should not go into the background too much because I'm hoping I've dried it properly. Now wash the brush and I try to pull that gray, that dark color that I just put into the rest of the areas. Um, and not everywhere, but just watch my brush how I'm just spreading it around just so that it gives the look of a very nice round object, like a three-dimensional object. Just dry it up a bit with the paper. There is that line I don't like, and then going like that. Okay, that's that. And then I'll take a very thin brush and with put a orange yellow color on the beak. I mix with the gray a little bit, not too much, just a tiny bit. It can mix over here a little bit. And then the feet. The feet could be a little bit darker. Like I'm mixing my orange yellow with the reddish color, and then I'm getting a tad bit darker orange yellow color to go in here. Okay, so that's the basic of the drawing. That's what the basic of the drawing looks like, and now we're gonna do more detail. Well, I haven't done the block, this block of wood yet. I have to do that, but I can do that later. Okay, so take a moment and do all that if you can, if you want to. These are my trees. Tree trunk, just a few. Oh, this area is still wet, so I don't want to go too much into it, but this is the part where I would like to do a little bit dark areas, like stones and all that. But I did not dry that area yet, so I have to be very careful. So these are like distant rocks and then trees growing on top of it. That kind of a look. Just taking a thin brush at this point and putting in more dark colors. something like that. Okay. Trying to soften up some of the edges. If I don't like something, I'll go in and just bring in the soften up a little bit so the edge is not so sharp. You could do that. I could also take some of my orange color into the blue, but it will give you some sort of a green, okay? So you have to be careful. So, but I just want to darken up my orange just a little bit. And I'm ending up with the green. So I'll go into the orange and I'll just use that to create a little bit darker color in the base area of this area. And that looks dry. You can go and okay, you can put that in the meantime. You can take a snapshot if you want, in between snapshot. I'm just going to make sure that my horizon is straight. I'll do that later on after you take the snapshot. it's important to have, uh, if the horizon is far away, to have a nice straight horizon. And sometimes I would make use of, um, sometimes I would make use of a tape, to help me with the horizon. Uh, so I would go, in this case, I don't want to do that, but in other cases, you could put a tape. The tape, of course, has to be nice and straight, right? And then you will come and do the sky. You'll put in this color, right? Whatever the sky is, you'll do that. And then remove the tape, which gives it a very nice flat horizon, right? So that's the process. That's something that you can do to establish a very smooth, like a very beautiful horizon line in the distance. And then you'll come and work on it like this, with the blue going to the back, and then you have a very lot of light in the background in this water. So that's the way to set up the horizon very nice and straight, which I could have done here, but because I have the bird, I didn't do that. In most cases, I do my horizon like that. So now I'm gonna come and work on my water a little bit, but this part is wet. Just give me 1 second, let me dry it. So maybe I can put some marks in the water in the front. Um, make it interesting, put in some darker lines, darker colors. Then I want to work on the beak just a little bit more. Um, the beaks, they have some sort of a line, which I haven't done yet. I just want to put in some extra colors here, and then I'll come back and do the line later on. Also, the feet may be a little bit darker. Just working on the distant landscape a little bit, putting a little bit more warmer colors in the background. And I mean, you can do a lot here. You can put a boat and all sorts of things, but then it becomes too many things. It doesn't look nice if you do too much. So sometimes the painting, even if you have the urge, you just let it be and don't overwork it, because then it becomes about everything, right? So I can put a boat there, but it will shift the focus of the painting a little bit if I do that. I'm darkening up the trees in the background a little bit more. Maybe there is some vegetation here also. Put that in. I like to put a little bit of texture with using some sort of a dry brushing technique. And I put in some browns and indigo color there. And I'll darken up some of these areas so that it looks like a wet log on which the bird is sitting. Then I will look for a very, very narrow, very thin brush, size 0. And I'll try to put in some tree trunks here. Okay, so now I would like to dry the painting a little bit. So I will now work on the bird a little bit. And I'm going to use a uniball pen, it's like a ballpoint pen, but it's very thin. But you can use a ballpoint pen also. Just make sure if you're using the ballpoint pen to clean the front, so that there is no, and just test it out a little bit. Otherwise, a glob of ink may fall on it and you won't like it. So I'm gonna use this one here to, you have to be careful that this is not wet. And I will now try to do the beak using that. Also draw some feathers using that. Just a few feathers. Something that is poking into the wind. Correct some stray lines in the bottom where I can see the pencil marks, maybe cover it with my black ink and improve the feet a little bit. You can also draw over these gray areas with a pen. It gives it some definition, looks nice. Okay. And in this process, maybe I can also do the trunk of the trees using this a little bit, just a tiny bit. There we go. And I can also do some birds in the sky using the pen. The shape is like a V. It's a V and you pull it and don't make it look the same, like do a little bit different, and the size, decrease as you go further up. And, I said I will not do a boat, but maybe there is a boat. Here is a boat. Just to balance out the painting, I'm just doing a little boat here with, and then a smaller boat, two boats, just to balance it out a bit. And then I will just create some, maybe define the rock surface a little bit with this pen. Yeah, but there is a mistake. I need to correct that, which is this beak here. I need to put a little bit more paint over here because I realized the beak was too thin. I need to make it thicker. There. Okay, so that's that. Okay, so that's the painting. Mostly that's the painting. But yeah, I don't want to do too much. This is good enough in terms of the bird on a log, and it's pretty big because it's right in front of you, and then the rest of the painting, all the faraway island and the birds and everything, they're pretty small. And to make things interesting, we could take a nice red color and put that on. Be careful that there is not too much paint. Put that red on the sails of the boat that is far away. There we go. 2 red boats in the distance, okay? As an artist, it's good that, you put in your imagination and you have fun. If we are too serious, the painting is going to look too serious. So just have fun, have a good time painting whatever you want to do. Play with it. Yeah, so that's that, okay? So that's the painting for today. And we do have a few minutes. You can ask me a question if you want today. And you can also take the snapshot. I think I'm done with it. Let me get the whole painting. I think I'm missing part of it. Ouch. Yeah, because I have done 3 birds. Yeah, I now have the whole painting. You can take a snapshot if you want. Okay, I would like to open the room for discussion. If you have anything to ask me, feel free to do so. Does anybody want to share their work? I hope you enjoyed the class today.
Thank you, Pam.
That's very good. You're very welcome.
Thank you, Camilla.
Would anybody want to share their work today? If you say your name, the host can pin your screen. If you say your name, maybe Amal can pin your screen, add you to the pin. Looks like you are sharing your work, Amy. Can I pin? I'm not sure if I can pin. I'll try because I'm not the host. So let me try if I can pin your screen.
Maybe next time. Thank you,
Right,
Pam. Not very good.
Okay. Is anybody trying to show their work? Jerry, are you trying?
Yes.
Hold on, just 1 second. Let me go and pin your work then, because we have a couple of minutes today. If you want, I don't have a problem. We
Yes.
can easily do that. I can add you to the pin. Yeah, you can show your work.
Yes, it's the last.
Oh, this is from the last time. Very beautiful. Really like it. Very enjoyable.
you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. That's really nice. Anybody else wants to show their work? Oh, Jerry, you're showing again. Hold on 1 second. Just 1 second. Let me add you to the pin. There we go. Yeah, you can show it now. Now I can see it. Yeah, hold it up if you can, please. Okay. Okay, that's fine. That's all right. And anyone else to? Okay. All right. So we are done with the class today. And I will see you next week. Okay. Thank you very much. I'm still here. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I can still see two of you there, Sulian and Zoom user 219498. If you have a question, this is a good time. Today we have a little bit of extra minutes. I just have some extra paint, and so I'm just putting in some blue in the water. I'm leaving then. Okay.
All right, sounds good.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Bye, take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Boom.